Hey YouTube, it's XRose52 here. Gonna start a new section of the channel. I'm gonna try to see if I can make some videos like this just to get more videos on YouTube. It's gonna be, this card is underrated. Just cards that are getting overlooked in this format, or cards that are overlooked now that might be big next format. This one's going to be really focused on next format because there's a lot of changes that are going to be happening with the arrival of Judgment of Light. And today's card is going to be Eccentric Boy. Eccentric Boy, if you don't know his effect, he's just not a very known card. It's when you synchro summon using this card, the other one is one in your hand. It's a condition of the card I'm summoning. It's not an effect. So it's one that gets around the veilers that are in decks, that you summon it, they can veiler it, but it's still a condition, that not an effect to synchro it, so it gets around it. It's one of those stupid rulings like with caster, but it is one of the rulings out there. But his effect is the other synchro materials in the hand, but the synchro monster's effect is negated and cannot be activated. So it prevents things like, Stardust, when brought back from like Starlight Road, you can still activate its effect and tribute it. You can't do that with him. But you still get the synchro monster, and it makes every card in your hand live. The reason I think he's overlooked right now is because of the announcement of Celestial Dragon in Judgment of Light. Celestial Dragon, you don't need to know his effect because the Eccentric Boy negates it anyway. But Celestial Dragon's effect is, or more or less is, just a 4,500 beater that's on the field that can easily be made with any 8-star in your hand. Because Celestial Dragon just takes a tuner and a non-tuner, no specifics, 4,500. So that's where I think Eccentric Boy is overlooked. Because there are several decks that are too slow in the formats that we have right now, and will probably be too slow in next format, because Dragon Rulers will still be very fast, that it's getting completely overlooked. I have Blue Eyes here because this is one of the decks that Eccentric Boy really boosts. The Blue Eye Structure deck is going to come out relatively soon. It's going to be, everyone's going to probably try to build some version of it just because it's kind of the first throw to a retro deck and to a fun idea of a card that everyone really does like. There are a lot of cards that boost the deck, like the Blue-Eyed Maiden or something, but with normally the biggest problem with those decks is when you draw Blue Eyes. Normally it's just a card that sits in your hand that you're either waiting for a card that will summon him, waiting for your 2 tributes, which don't normally happen in this format, or waiting for a trade-in to get draw. But with Eccentric Boy, he opens a new option for your Blue Eyes. Draw just these 2 cards, summon Eccentric Boy, sync with Blue Eyes, get your 11-star Celestial Dragon on the field. 4,500 attack monster, first turn, any turn, really quick. You have Eccentric Boy in hand, you can just sit on it and be like, okay, I'm going to wait till I draw. Oh, there's a Blue Eyes. Go into it. If they're going to stop him, they have to stop his summon with like a warning or a judgment. So they'll have to have a high cost. It gets around that Veiler. Really good card. Speeds up this deck. Brings more options to running Blue Eyes in your deck. The other deck that gets a huge boost from it, and the deck that I'm going to be running next format if I can get my hands on 3 Celestial Dragons, are going to be Light Sworns. Now the reason I have Judgment and Celestia here is I believe that these 2 are the ones that get boosted the most from Eccentric Boy. Obviously you have cards like BLS and all the other cards like Wolf, Lumina, Lila, and all them, and Raikou, who get boosted and easy synchro summons. But these are the 2 that get the most, because these are 2 of the biggest dead draws in the deck. Judgment Dragon is a perfect top deck when you have a full graveyard, can end a game, great card, still one of my favorites, have it in the secret. But it is a terrible card to draw early. If the deck runs trade-in, you wait for your draw, but then your Judgment goes into the grave, and you have cards, but you don't really have a push for it. Eccentric Boy gives you a push. You summon your Eccentric Boy, drop your Judgment early, go into Celestial Dragon, you have a 4,500 beater on the field. Even if you drop that first turn, you're going to make your opponent go into that dark hole, go into something to try to kill it, and you're ending up benefiting because now dark hole's gone, you can start spamming the field without really having too much worry that on their turn they're going to wipe your field. So really good, strong card on that. It also gets strong with Celestia. Normally the Lightsworn deck does not run Celestia, but in this deck, because Celestia is not as much of a dead draw, you do have the draw ability with Solar Recharge. You do have the awesome ability to pop cards if you contribute a Lightsworn, but you also get Eccentric Boy, who goes with Celestia to make any level 8. I think I might try a build of Lightsworns that have Assault Mode activate. It might be too cloggy. I just want to try it for fun. But one, you can go into Stardust and do Stardust Assault Mode. The second thing you can do is sync and just go into Red Dragon Archfiend. Red Dragon Archfiend effect negated, doesn't destroy your defense position Raikou, doesn't destroy your Lilas that don't attack, just has a 3k beater that hits the field. So really good with Celestia. He's also good with Wolf. Wolf gets dead in the hand, you can start running Wolf again because if you draw into Eccentric Boy, Wolf him, and you go into a Black Rose, Scrap Archfiend, any level 7 you want. Just creates options for these decks and does speed them up. So I think that Eccentric Boy, I mean, he's not an expensive card, which is why I'm saying he's really overlooked. He's a cool looking card, but it's only like $1 on eBay. It's one that I've picked up several just because I'm like, I think this is one that people will overlook because they're like, I think at first people are looking at Celestial Dragon saying, oh, well, his whole effect of, you know, not being able to be negated, his summon being negated, and then attacking and stopping effects from activating are too good to, like, have it negated when it hits the field because of cards like Bottomless. But in all honesty, if you drop Eccentric Boy, they're going to have to stop him, or else they're going to let a big monster hit the field. They let that big monster hit the field, they're going to have to use something to kill it. And if they don't, they have to deal with a 4,500 attack monster on the field. So that's what I think. So tell me what you think about Eccentric Boy. Tell me what other cards you think might be overlooked. Tell me what decks you might see kind of make a resurgence for the next format. And if there's any deck profiles or anything, definitely put that in the comment section. So please subscribe and like, and I'll talk to you later.